Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We have some breaking news from Palantir today. They've introduced a certification program to scale their platform and empower customers and their strategic partners. In this video, we're going to break down a couple things. Number one, why is it important for them to have a certification program for their flagship software Foundry? Two, how does Palantir conceptualize this certification program in terms of the trajectory for their growth? And three, why I believe this is just the beginning for their steps to eventually become something like an AWS. Let's get into it. So first of all, what is a certification program? If you've worked in any type of job before that requires you to be certified, and please comment below on your particular certification so more of the community can get to understand what a certification is. It is basically the set of skills that you need to have, that you need to be certified in order for you to get a job. So for example, if you're going for a marketing position, most jobs require you to know how to be certified in Facebook ads and Google ads because they dominate like 80% of the digital advertising market, which means that if you're going into a role in which you're buying media for companies or you're a digital ad spender for certain different companies, if you don't know how to work within Facebook's CPMs and Google AdWords and their click-through rates, if you don't understand how cost per clicks work and how impressions operate, you're not going to win in that industry, right? You have to be certified in these skill sets, and Google and Facebook offer these certification programs. The next biggest certification program is Amazon Web Services, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But basically, you need to be certified in certain sectors in order for you to be able to show to those employers, those organizers that want to have you and want to give you money for doing a task, that you can actually do the task because you're certified in order to do it. Some quotes from the press release. The Palantir certification program will provide an opportunity for users to highlight their Foundry knowledge, skills, and abilities, while their employers will be able to accelerate their transformation by identifying and scaling Foundry users. So Foundry is the flagship software that Palantir is trying to just penetrate into the commercial world. And this certification program is giving them the ability to start standardizing that for employers and users to be able to show their skill sets. They also say Palantir customers will be able to increase the impact of their software by leveraging more of their IT and data support network in the Foundry operating system, meaning companies that have traditional IT data support networks but are integrating Foundry will be able to integrate them in a more meaningful way due to this program. And Palantir aims to infuse operations with intelligence by setting standards for using data to help transform organizations rather than just modernizing them. With its certification program, Palantir is accelerating and expanding the productization of its approach. And here is where the main kicker is. Palantir's ability to take a program or to take a software that they have created, that is proprietary, that they own, that they are trying to get out into the world, and certify it, meaning in order for you to work with the company, you have to be certified in this flagship software so that the company knows you're valuable to the company in order to be able to do the tasks that they need you to do, is where the productization of Foundry becomes. And this is exactly what Palantir believes. So Ted Marbury, their global head of commercial business, says, "It has been our company's mission to empower our customers to use Palantir software to transform their organizations. Certifications represent a critical milestone in democratizing the transformative power of our software by setting an explicit standard that organizations should expect from their data and their data professionals." This normalizes Foundry. That's the kicker if you're going to get anything from this video. When a software is normalized, productized, meaning you can get certified in that product that is so normalized, that product starts to scale. Now, why does it start to scale? The reason for this is because if all organizations, all companies are using a universal form of software, because that software has done enough of a job to start showing value to those companies in order to implement it within their organizations, then that means those companies are going to need people that know how to use the software. So again, Google and Facebook ads, 80% of the digital ad market. If you are working for a marketing job and you don't know how to use that, you're not going to survive because those platforms, Facebook and Google, have normalized them into the very fabric of digital advertising, which means if you can't understand those platforms, there is no opportunity for you to get a job in those markets. The ability for a platform to productize and normalize itself is the basis and foundation for it ultimately to scale. And when I mean scale, I mean exponentially scale. This news today is important because that's exactly what Palantir is trying to do with Foundry. If they can create a certification program that is able to get every single organization in the world, and when I say that, it's a hyperbole, but I'm talking about big commercial clients, to be able to say, hey, if you're not skilled in Palantir Foundry, you can't work here. That means that those organizations are going to require people to be able to know Palantir Foundry, which means people are going to have to require to get the Palantir Foundry skills, which means they're going to have to learn the software more. They're going to have to integrate it into your tech stack in terms of being able to become a better data engineer, data analyst, whatever it may be. And that also means that Palantir is going to get a lot of business because a lot of commercial sectors are going to say, hey, we use Palantir. If you don't know how to use Palantir, get out. Charlton Pierre Perez, the EVP and the global head of insights for the intelligent industry at Capnavigi Invent, says, our partnership with Palantir to build a global capacity of world-class business analysts, data scientists, and data engineers and architects is pivotal to unlock sustainable business value rapidly. We have been transforming the business models of our clients with Palantir Foundry for the last 6 years in different industries and business domains. By the way, this is a consulting firm company. R&D, manufacturing, supply chain, finance, and connected services have all been a part of the challenge. We are extremely excited to be one of the first Palantir partners globally to be able to leverage Palantir certifications for our talents. This will help our customers to see increased interoperability and prototyping speeds with significant business value and a faster time of custom applications leveraging Palantir Foundry. This person, Charlatan, works with a consulting firm that works with clients that basically use data-driven solutions. And they recommend Palantir as one of the main big data analytics platforms for all these commercial clients in order to get them more optimized to be able to transform their businesses. And we've seen this before, right? Accenture is a consulting firm that recommends Palantir many times to its clients because those clients are like, hey, how do we optimize our business? How do we get into the digital age? How do we use big data to actually, drive our decision-making? They recommend Palantir. This company is also recommending Palantir. Now, with a certification program, those clients can actually integrate and standardize a normalized model for how they expect talent to be able to work within the company because of this certification protocol. Foundry certifications are now available to existing Palantir Foundry's customers and partners, and exams are available on one of 4 tracks: a data engineer, an application developer, a data science, and a data analyst. Exam guides, including an outline of topics, relevant documentation, and other study materials, will all be provided to candidates. So if you want to get a job in the modern century, in data, in applications, in development, in science, in data analytics, you need to know how to do Palantir Foundry, how to work within the system. And that is only a good thing going forward because it means the brand of Palantir, the software that they created, can't be ignored. And then Wall Street eventually can't ignore it if everyone in the world knows how to use it and every company in the world is paying Palantir because they need people to know how to use it. Now, here's what really makes me excited. Amazon Web Services, AWS, is one of the most highly sought after certification programs in the world. Like if you go on LinkedIn and you just type in AWS certifications, like people hold that as a badge of honor more than anything else because AWS has integrated into most of the world's cloud computing businesses. I mean, I think AWS did some ridiculous number, like $17 billion of revenue on its own, not Amazon Web Services. That one component created $17 billion of revenue for the company. Most organizations are either using Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, or Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services started in 2006, and they just got such a strong foothold in the market that they became the go-to place to go when you wanted to host your data and have your cloud computing and basically have serverless infrastructure for your applications. And now we know the entire world is on the cloud, so you're either using Microsoft, Amazon, or Google, and a lot of people are using Amazon. Now, the key here is that Amazon was able to make sure AWS was consistently organized and normalized throughout the entirety of the world. So more and more people had to become Amazon Web Services certified in order to work at a company because most companies hosted all of their content and their data on Amazon's server platforms. So if you didn't know how to integrate and work within AWS, if you were going to apply for a company in some type of data engineering role or some type of IT role, then you were screwed because you didn't have the skills required to actually be able to get the job and do the functions required in AWS. What AWS became was the operating system for cloud computing for hundreds of thousands of companies across the world. Even my previous school district, I remember I would load up their files on their website if you were like looking for updates on the school. This is back in high school. You would see .aws in the link in the big link when you pulled up a PDF because all of their content was stored in Amazon Web Services. I mean, it is integrated in the fabric of most of our global society. Well, that was cloud computing. And that's going to be around for a while, but that was the first innovation of the new modern digital enterprise. The next innovation, the next generation, the stuff where people get wealthy investing in those companies, the next Amazons of the world, are going to be the synthesization and analysis of the data that you have, not just the hosting of it in the cloud. This is what Palantir meant by creating a solution for a problem that most people didn't know was going to exist. Amazon, when they were doing this in 2006, companies still had physical boxes to host their servers stacked on top of each other. AWS was creating software for these organizations that didn't truly know what they would need to do 10 years from now. 2006 to 2016, no organization in the world is using boxes that have servers on top of each other with wires all in between in order to host their data. It doesn't make any sense. It's not even part of your thinking. AWS created a solution for a problem people didn't even know they had. And to me, with the certification of Palantir Foundry, there is a world, I don't know if it's 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but I do believe it is happening, where companies and organizations are going to constantly be using Palantir Foundry. And if you are not certified in big data analytics synthesization platforms like Palantir Foundry, you're not going to be able to work in those organizations, which is net good for all of us as shareholders of Palantir, because that means Palantir has integrated itself into the very fabric of our society and could become an AWS for cloud computing, but for data analytics. Also means they have the capacity to really go into the commercial sector and scale, because if every commercial business or operation is using Palantir Foundry, that means more and more contracts for Palantir, and Palantir getting all those contracts seems to think they're not that crazy to say they're going to keep growing 30% year after year, because it's like, well, if they're normalizing Foundry into everything and everyone's using it and you have to get certified to use it now, then there's a real big opportunity here. Additionally, I've released a video about a couple weeks ago, and I'm releasing another video soon about all the different job application postings we're seeing where Palantir Foundry comes up. It's not a coincidence when a bunch of these employers are saying, hey, you need to be skilled in this software in order to work here. That means that that software is likely, it's not 100%, but probably 90% being integrated into that organization. And they're saying, if you don't know how to use this platform, you can't work at this organization, because then you're not going to be able to understand how we do data analytics, which means more and more of the normalization of the Palantir software. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what certifications you have for any jobs you have and how you feel about the certification process, and ultimately what it means for your industry if you do have to get certified for any jobs that you work at. Leave it in the comments. Looking forward to reading them. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Amit. I'll see you in the next one.